Lori, I just feel so blessed I get to spend one-on-one time with you. It's no secret you're one of my favorite people on the planet. And I just thank you so much for being here with me today. I would like us to start maybe talking about you channeling the light. And then I'd like to talk some about your experience on Manifest Teams also.
Well, it's a long story, a lifelong story. So when I was small, I was very different than most. I spent a lot of time by myself, but I never felt alone. And I realize now that I could connect into that energy. That's what I was doing when I was small. When I could get alone, that was when I would say I was in connection with the light, only I didn't have those words at the time. So fast forward to finding channeled material. I want to say like my awakening started probably around 2001. And then I kind of went through I would say dark night of the soul even experience. And then I found, I would say The Secret in 2006. And then Abraham Hicks in 2012. And that just kind of set me on my journey, on my path here into channeling. And it was the coolest thing ever to know about channeling. That was like, made so much sense to me. And then it was then connecting the dots backwards to realize that I've been doing that my whole life. But I want to say now everyone can do it. It's just realizing that you can. So, because we're all connected to that same source God energy. I think some of us just come in maybe wired a little bit different or a little bit more open where that veil is thinner. And I think that's the light the way forward for others to remember and awaken too. So that's how it all started. And that was in June of 2020. When I realized that I could channel for other people.
So now that you understand what channeling is, how is the relationship between you and the light now?
Yeah, it's great. Well, and I'm laughing because they told me early on that we're not exclusive. So it's not an exclusive relationship. It's very open. Anyone can have a relationship with them. But it's one of deep connection and love and presence.
I love that. We want to put these human terms on it, right? It's not exclusive. Oh, that's beautiful. How have you changed as that relationship has deepened and you're finding more uses and purposes for having this connection? How are you changing?
Well, they work through me and with me first and foremost. So, and they said that early on too, that in order to do this, in order to connect in and to, I want to say share it with others, open it up with others, they had to clear my own shit out first. Because, like, in order
2 years.
yeah. Well, and actually it was funny because like when I first started working with them in June of 2020, they're like, you are going to be in a massive period of integration for 6 to 9 months. And they're like, get ready. So, and that did happen. Like we worked through so many of my own blocks and issues and points of resistance. And that needed to happen so that I didn't have those sticking points, because if I had them, like I can say this really clearly, if I had them going in and someone asked a question, but it hit on a point of resistance within me, it would have pulled me out of channel. And so I had to clear out those blocks so that I can just be a clear conduit of the divine. Doing so changed everything for me. So it really was hopping on a rocket ship myself to really like ascend and expand and release the limitations and the blocks first. And then that allows me to then share those messages with others.
How do you do that in 6 to 9 months?
I think I had really laid the foundation for that for quite some time. I've always been a really strong question asker. That was really what my relationship with them was. Even as a kid, I'd be like, well, what does this mean? Or what's this about? Or how does that work? Especially within humans, because they're so freaking complex with like their emotions and their blocks and their belief systems and their limitations that they've picked up. And it's just feeling into other people's energy has always been, I want to say, my hobby, because it's fascinating to me. And like each person has a different history, a different journey, a different story, different points where they've been touched by life, where they picked up resistance. And so that's always been very fascinating to me. But then in playing with others, then I picked up some of that myself. And so it was really just releasing those points. And that's what they do through me for others too. So when they have a session with somebody, they allow them to ask questions. And they're very, very big on that too, is that if you don't have a question, they don't have an answer for you. If you don't have something that you want guidance on, there, carry on, go forth. You're doing amazing. You're exactly on point, right on track, what you're supposed to be doing. You're here to have experiences and to explore and to expand. And you're doing that no matter where you are. And so there's no hierarchy. Like if you're in the lowest of the lows, the like least amount of light possible, that's great. That's an experience. That's what you came to do. You're exploring. You're still right on track. And so if you don't have a question, they don't have an answer for you. But what they do through that is that when someone comes with a question, with a point of resistance or a sticking point, they help to release it. They overlay a higher perspective on it. For me, that's what it was. It was like, okay, these are your sticking points. Like through everything you've been through, all the interactions and experiences you've had, these are your sticking points. This is what's weighing heavily on you. This is where you're stuck. And in order to move past that, to let it go, here's the higher perspective. Here's the higher view of that. And then I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like, there's like a little piece that you just needed, like piece, like a puzzle piece that clicks into place, but also peace, like as in world peace, like internal peace that clicks into place too. And it really is just letting go. But sometimes like we're so stuck, we can't let it go. Cause it's like, it's just, I don't know, just stuck in there. We're hanging on to it for dear life, or we can't make sense of it. So we can't let go. I know for me, for my human, that's a lot of it. If I can't make sense of something, if it confuses me, I just hang on to it and just go round and round and round with it until I can make sense of it. And that's the joy of the journey to me too. It's not about getting it done or mastering the sense of a finish line. It's like the joy of the now and what's up now and what am I learning now and what am I expanding into now. And I think that was a huge part of it too with me. Like my human really entangled in the doing mode, the get it done mode, the productivity mode, and like get to the finish line, then be happy. And it's like they gave me a colossal chill pill in that, where I'm not trying to get it done anymore. Like I'm just in the now, and whatever's up now is perfect. There's no end to it. So, and it's not about, because like in my human self, I would have thought, all right, we're going to like take everything out of the closet and we're going to go piece by piece, but it's not like that. Like I don't have to like get the closet decluttered and then live my life. Like I get to just enjoy whatever there is and open the doors when I want to and close them when I want to. And there's no pressure, no time limits. There's no have to's. That was another thing with the light when I first started channeling them, was that I kept saying, like, from my human perspective, it's like, do I have to? What if I don't want to? And they're like, it's fine. Like, if you don't want to do this, it's fine. Like, it's a potential. It's something that you're able to do. You can do it if you want to, but you don't have to do it. And so that really helped a lot too, just because I think my human's like, oh man, now I have to do this. Like, I don't have to do this. So just really a helpful perspective to remember that it's like, I don't know, we take things so serious as a human. We think that it's so serious and we have to get it done, or we can mess up, or, you know, there's some big divine soul mission. And it's not to say that those things aren't true, but it's light and it's easy and there's no pressure and it's fun and it's joyful and it's free and it's flowing. That's really what it is. And I think that's really their dominant message.
The lightness of being in all that you have learned and the walk that you're on, just that incredible lightness of being, it really is what we work towards and how we practice on ManifesTEAMS. It's almost like the undoing of the seriousness, the solemnness that we think this journey is, that we're here to save the world and achieve some mission. And in reality, it's just playful, and you so embody that. And this is the message you got from the light early on.
Yeah, for sure. And that was where I entangled as a kid, was that everyone was like so heavy and so like dark and dense and like, just like, oh yeah, like I get how you can get entangled. I get how you can take it so serious. And on our Manifest Teams call today, we just talked about light quotients and where some people have really high ones and some people have really low ones. And I can see that where it's like, in order to have that human experience and relate, in order to have a 3D experience in particular, I had to really lower that light quotient. Like I had to really step down the light to explore there, to live there, and to believe it. Like that is the illusion. Like you think that that 3D, that density, that limited light quotient is real, but it's not. It's just like this veil. It's just this sheet that we put over things to have an experience.
So perfectly said. You know, you're touching on an aspect that I would like us to talk about more also. You have this beautifully light way of looking at the human experience. Running Manifest Teams and, you know, meeting a lot of people on the different teams, there's this heaviness that we humans put on the life experience. There's like this story that we think needs to be told, that we really are, that everything's broken and we're here and we're lost and we're stuck and, you know, we're whatever. And one of the aspects of Manifest Teams is that we remove that veil and realize that we are God, we are our higher selves, deliberately here to play. You embody that to the max. How is it that you get that? And what can you share to help us all understand this is fun? We want to be here.
Yes. Well, it's interesting because I want to say first and foremost, and this is the light perspective for sure, but no one's doing it wrong. And so it's just at the level that you want to play. So I often see it like a ladder or like a sliding scale. So it's like, I have two metaphors coming in at once, but like with the ladder, it's like, that's our multidimensional nature. So at the tippy top, we're source God energy, and you get to pick what rung you want to play at. And there's no wrong run. It's just different experiences. So if you're at the bottom, you're in separation. You think you're alone. You think that no one cares about you. No one loves you. Like you couldn't be more separate or alone or apart or in this on your own. That's where fear is. That's where separation is. That's the lowest of the lows. That would be the 0% light quotient. And everyone's out to get you. You can't trust anybody. I mean, and that's a very real experience. And we can play there. And then we can pick any rung along the way. So there's the tippy top of the ladder, there's the bottom of the ladder, but there's no right or wrong in that. They're all just experiences. And that's what we're doing in Manifest Teams, is remembering who we are, that we get to choose. And there's no wrong place to pick, but I'll tell you what, to be at the 0% light quotient and know that I'm picking it, that's a different experience than feeling like it's happening to me and that I'm stuck and that I can't choose and that I'm a victim or powerless or helpless. Like that's a very different experience. But I want to say that lightness of being, that joy, that fun, that laughability of the human experience, that comes from remembering that I'm choosing it all. And then also to realize that no matter how stuck my human is, they just love her. They just love her. They just think she's the cutest thing, the most adorable thing, the most fun thing, the greatest thing. Like they just get the biggest kick out of her. And it's like, oh my gosh, like if they can love her, why can't I? And it's like letting go of that criticism of myself, that harshness towards myself, that berating of myself. That was a huge thing, but that they really helped me in that because they hold that perspective of my human, and just knowing, I think too, channeling for others, they hold that perspective for everyone's human. So it's like, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're stuck. They just love you. They just adore you. They just know all is well. They know you're right on track. So it's just really, I think that self-love too, that's a huge thing. And that's something that I'm still coming into more and more and more and more and more. And that goes back to what you said about remembering that we are God. So it's like, if the light channeled through me can love me, it's like, but remember that you're not separate from that. Like they can love you, but you can love you too. So.
Oh, that's beautiful, Lori. If you already know that you are your higher aspect and you have access to that, why do you want to be human?
for the fun of it, for the joy of it, for the experience of it. And it goes back to that ladder example. So it's like, yeah, I know how to be at the top rung. That's who I am. That's me. I am the ladder. Like I'm all of it. And so that's the realization that you are God's source energy. You're all that is. It includes all that is. Like it leaves nothing out. That's really who we are. And the fun and the joy of being here, why I want to have a human body, is because I get to play on different rungs. I get to have different experiences. And that's fun. That's thrilling. That's the exploration of who I am. It's like, I know who I am, but who am I in this life experience with these experiences, with these belief systems? Like, who am I in that experience? And that's, oh my gosh, like so exciting. And like, of course I want to do that. It's like a little kid playing dress up. Like, but who am I as a police officer? Well, I am me, but who am I as a fairy princess? That's what we're doing. We're exploring. And that's why we come back and do it again and again and again, because it's so much fun. Like, why wouldn't we want to explore it? Like, and it's like, this life was so great. Like, I want to come back and do that again, but like, I want to try it this way. Or it's just fun to just play out different roles and to see who we are and to explore.
And the other part of that bliss is doing it on a manifest team and watching us all wake up to how fun this journey is. It's like all that seriousness goes away.
Yes. Yeah. And who do I want to be in this moment? Knowing that I get to choose.
That we're not stuck in the human experience, that we chose the human experience. And then there's this lightness that comes across our journey. It's like this letting go of, no, I didn't come here to save the world. I came here to play. And I just loved watching how that happens on a manifest team.
Yeah. And that's the other thing too, that I realized judgment is the biggest descension tool that there is. And that judgment of ourselves is the poop shoot down to 3D. Because when we're judging ourselves, then we start to judge others too. And we can even get there from others. Like, and that's how I did it as a kid. Like, I was like, wait, they're judging me? Like, that's not who I am. That's who they think I am. Like, how did they get that idea of me? That's not who I am at all. And then it's like putting myself in their eyes to see me in that light. And then I was like, oh my God, is that who I am? And so, I mean, that's really how we entangle, is with that judgment, the judgment of the self, judgment of others. And the biggest ascension tool is to let go of that judgment of the self, judgment of others. There's no right or wrong. There's infinite possibilities, so many choices, so many options. What do I want now? And that to me is mastery, is really coming into that knowing of who we are. What do we want? What do we want to experience? It's all allowed. There's no good, bad, no right, wrong. Yes. There's no judgment. And that's huge. Like, that's really huge.
Yes. I have got to ask you, I just have so much admiration for you and enjoy connecting with you, because you do bring in such a high vibration. What do you get being on a manifest team?
Playmates, people who are into what I'm into, who know what I know, who live the way that I live. We're all drawing this image of the divine and how it works, how creation works, this understanding of who we are and how it works. But to see someone else's picture of it, or how they would describe it, or how they would explain it to you, that goes so deep for me. And that's the value of all the perspectives. That's why there isn't just one human being playing this game, because there's value, the infinite value in the more. And so, like, to listen to me explain it, how the light would explain it, it's like, wow, that's amazing. But then to listen how you would explain it and my teammates would explain it, it's like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And it's like putting them together, we get more of the view, we get more of the picture. And it's like everybody's view is accurate, but to put them together, it's even better. And that's honestly, that's what I get out of the ManifesTEAMS, is playmates, people who know what I know, who do what I do, who get it, but then who would draw it differently or describe it differently. And that expands my view. It expands me. Just, I've also said it this way too. It's like, I get to live this lifetime, but you all get to live your lifetimes. And then when we put them together, it's like, we have all this experience and all this lived shared journey. And like, it's just more when we come together. And that's really what I'm getting out of it.
Yes, me too. Every time someone on a team shares, I expand. I get to see it through their perspective. I grow, I expand. The lightness of my being increases. My understanding of why I'm here and who I'm here and the playfulness of it expands. I just love how you describe things. You know that. I just love that. One of the things I love about you on a Manifest team is we put a tool on the table. You go home and play with the tool, and then you come back and you just have embodied it, and you catapult us all to a new level. And a while back when we were first talking about the unified field, and you came back the next week on your Manifest team and described it. Do you remember the words that you used? And would you please tell us what that experience was like for you? I just love this.
Staying in my own energy field and realizing that that energy that I've been reaching for, that I want to seek outside of myself, is within me, and knowing that it's always available, like in every now moment. So I know a lot of people have this experience because I hear them describe it, and I've had it too, where we can feel so connected and then it just disappears. Like one of my friends often says it, I had it and then I lost it. It's like, where'd it go? It's like I had it and then it went away. And it's like that feeling of like it's there in these moments under these conditions. And then I get into life and it's not there. And what the unified field is for me, and that was the experience that I had playing with it. It's like, holy shit, it's there all the time. Like, holy shit, I can focus on it if I want to. Like, I can tap into it. It didn't go anywhere. Surprise. It's been there the whole time. And just knowing that we have that focus, and the focus is everything. And I think that that is honestly, even up until playing with you on the manifesting, something that always surprised me, that I could get in conditions and circumstances where it's like lights out. It's like, well, where'd the lights go? They were just on. Like, where'd they go? And it's like really understanding that. And that was another one of the tools, was the timeouts, was really just taking that time in that space to be like, okay, what the hell happened to the lights? Like they were just on and then they just flipped off. Like, what happened here? And like that was really what that UFI was for me, was realizing like, oh shoot, like I am the light switch. like it doesn't matter if the lights were on and then they went off, like I can turn them back on. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for the manifest teams and the lessons and the playing with it and looking at it in different ways and the coming together and sharing of the experiences, because you have given me so many powerful touchstones in that, and the UFI is just one of them. But even I was thinking today, that hourglass that you described with the sweet spot, that's been so powerful for me. Just, and I don't know that I ever would have looked at it quite that way, but it's such a powerful touchstone. And that is like the amazing part of us coming together and sharing these experiences and how we experience it, because it takes us all further and deeper together.
It is such a joy to play at this level on a Manifest team. You described it so perfectly, that we each take these tools and embody them in our own unique way. And then when we share, we each expand. And it's just playful. I think that's the other aspect of this, that most of my life, I thought this was real serious business. That spirituality was so solemn, and I was here on some serious mission. And here we are just playing games and lightening up.
Yeah. And that's enlightenment. Isn't that a kick in the pants? Enlightenment is lightening up. It's not taking things serious. It's being in peace and joy and fun and bliss. That's enlightenment.
Lori, anytime I get some one-on-one time with you, I expand and grow. And I thank you so much for being my friend, for playing on Manifest Teams with me, for paving the way in so many ways that you do, sweetheart, and that incredible glow that you just embody. You are an inspiration to everyone who comes in contact, and I'm just so grateful to call you friend. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. And I'm just as lucky and thankful and fortunate to have you as my friend too. This is so much fun, truly. And I hope we get to have lots more one-on-one time and lots more conversations like these. And yeah, this is my joy, like really my joy. Like this is my fun thing to do on the playground, is to explore and to play and to talk about and to share and to expand even more.
That's beautiful, sweetheart. I'll see you on the team. Bye, hon.
Sounds good. Lots of love.